When is my anime streak going to end, y'all? Man, been talking about anime for how many days in a row, and Grand Blue Dreaming Season 2 is no different. Yep, gonna be talking about this one because I've been enjoying it. I've been liking it. I think this show is incredible. I've already talked about the first season of Grand Blue roughly a month ago by now, as I was super late to the party. I finally was able to watch the first season and be all caught up to the second season, and I'm going to more or less share how I feel about the show more or less. So again, Grand Blue Dreaming Season 2. This is a new anime to wrap up of the summer 2025 season as the follow-up to Grand Blue from summer of 2018 by Zero G Studios. And again, honestly, realistically, if you go back to the video that I did when talking about the first season of Grand Blue Dreaming, I liked it. I was pretty much floored and interested in the show. I do think that there were some low points in the show where I wasn't like really crazy about, and I didn't really get the hype surrounding the show. But man, I gotta say, once we got to the second season, all my expectations and everything about the show completely blew away in the best way possible. Where now the second season is like so much better than I feel like it's better than the first season. And again, I understand that the first season was back in 2018, so it is a pretty lengthy time period from one season to another. And you would think that normally around this time, when you have a pretty lengthy time span from one season to another, the quality is going to drop. Not in the case of season two. Season two is like really, I think without a doubt, one of the cleanest animations I've seen depicted in like an anime adaptation this year, and I don't say that lightly because the issues with the first season of Grand Blue felt like there was a lot of like a lot of animation dips and a lot of like brush ups like make it good really clean. The second season, I can't really point out like a single animation flaw, at least from my little noggin here, of course, because at the end of the day, maybe you guys may have found one here and there with the second season, but this is without a doubt one of the cleanest animated shows of slice of life comedy I've seen come out this year. And on top of that, the theme song of the show, just getting into the theme song, holy shit, the theme song is so bumping, it's so in your face. It is capturing the first season's theme song to a nutshell, but the second one I think is just so much better and just like I'm just so hyped the fuck up with each new episode that comes out every week. So Grand Blue Dream Season 2 already surpasses everything right off the bat with those two categories. And then we get into the premise of the show, which, again, if you remember what Grand Blue Dream Season 1 was all about, more or less a lot of it carries over to the second season. But now a lot of things have changed more or less, is a lot more of a different ball game compared to what the first season had to offer. And of course, every character in the show is about the same as always from what you last remember from the first season. Yori-kun being the same Yori-kun, Chisa being the same Chisa, etc. And everyone in this show, in this second season, actually plays like a really interesting and a much more deeper role now of like what it means to just live the summer and know that summer at the end of the day isn't going to last forever. You're going to meet a lot of great people. There's going to be a lot of bad people. They're going to hate at one point or another, but you slowly but surely become friends. And a lot of what happens in the second season is encapsulated really well. I think it captures the summer vibe so much stronger compared to the first season, in my honest opinion. And nothing can be said until we are introduced to like three new characters that really get this show up and running again. And from Shiori Kitahara, who is surprisingly the sister of Yori-kun, and in the first part of this show, we see that she's trying to get him to come back so he can inherit his family household name for the sake of like marriage and money and power. It's really weird of a story, more or less, but it honestly goes off really well, and you more or less are hooked and engaged to it right off the bat, real fast. There's also Sakurako Busujima, who, again, going into this second season, you would think that when you finally get introduced to her character, you think that she's a throwaway side character for the sake of progressing the plot, and she surprisingly makes like many more appearances past like the halfway point of the show, and god damn it, her I think she's like probably one of my favorite new characters of the show right now. Like her character design's really amazing. Her attitude really just gives off like I don't give a fuck attitude. She's unfortunately like the stereotypical like what it's like when you make fun of someone that hates people for being ugly and shit. But somehow her character development when hanging out with Iori-kun and getting to counter Kohei to an extent really changes her character so well that you really start to like kind of feel like you want to be friends with this person, even though you absolutely hate her so much. You just want to be friends with her because you know that she can change and mature. And surprise, surprise, she kind of has the same personality traits similar to Yuri-kun and Kohei to a degree. So a bit of a spoiler there. And then in this one, we also get introduced to Naomi Otoya, who is the high school student who loves diving and is the captain of his diving club in his respective school. And when you first meet him, he's basically like this fancy schmancy chef that is a hard worker. And at one point, there was like a love connection between these two, but it kind of did fall because we kind of find out that it turns out that Naomi Otoya is not a straight male. He is actually um, gay to a degree. And the plot in this show is just like really, again, it's all over the place. It's zany, but at the end of it all, it does go into like a final settling moment where a lot of the characters and tribulations of where it leads to a really wholesome conclusion, in my opinion. And even though this show's not going to conclude anytime soon, as we did get an announcement of Grand Blue Dream Season 3 right around the corner, I think that with what Season 2 has to offer, it's definitely the strongest that the franchise has been in a really long time. And again, I know there's a lot more I can say about the show. Maybe have some complaints here and there about what I feel like is lacking in the show. Which, again, my only issues with the show are is that there are moments where sometimes the jokes don't hit. There are moments where maybe we have like these awkward little gag moments of humor where it doesn't connect super well, or it kind of leaves like a lot to be desired. But I think the humor in the show is way better than what the first season had to offer. It's like it's pretty crazy to go from this to this within a matter of a long period of time. And I think they hit the ball super well with this second season. So yeah, I cannot say anything else about it other than I think if they just brush up a little bit on the humor and just continue this momentum that it had to offer from the beginning of the second season, I think this would have been like a really perfect show. But there's clearly some people at the end of the day that might not get the humor, they might not get the vibes of the show really well, and that's understandable at the end of the day. For me, I enjoyed it. I was really impressed with this show. I thought that this was a really good summer anthem type of anime, and that's all I gotta say, more or less. So yeah, I am feeling a light to decent 8 on this thing. I've been giving 8s out of the freaking wazoo, and this show is no different, man. It's really good. It's amazing. And yeah, just want to talk about this a little bit. That's it. See you in the next one. Later.